spiritual awakening, you know? So, anyways, what's on your mind?
I like it. I don't know, man. I've been watching it for a while. I've been meaning to call in.
Yeah.
I've been on the MGTOW for 6 or 7 years. I got divorced. I divorced my wife like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Took my daughter from her. I was married for 15 years. I'm 36.
Okay.
So right out of high school.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've seen that type of woman from that generation evolve slowly into the woman that we have today.
You mean devolve?
I don't know. I just have a lot of deep, intimate insight into
Right.
it, and I always want to share with other guys and see them get down, and just want to get them out and have them self-actualize. So
Absolutely.
I don't know, just
So-
to maybe share any knowledge I might have.
So how did you
Thank
see
you for all
them?
the content you put out too, man. It's good shit.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. If you don't mind me asking, how did you see them? You know, you said they evolved over the years, but I think the proper term is devolve. How have they devolved year after year in your experience?
I think the way you said it's much better. They definitely did devolve. I mean, you saw it slowly happening for years. I mean, I was married in the 90s, and things were starting to go that way. You had, like, pantsuits and, like, fucking Kurt Warner's wife
Shoulder
on the
pads.
Super Bowl with her short little haircut and bullshit.
Oh, shit.
You know, we got the power now. They just started pissing on men at that point. I mean, I watched my mother go from the matriarch of my family to a fucking raging cunt and
Wow.
just destroy my fucking stepfather, you know? I mean, he was a great guy. Took her on when we were nothing, you know? I guess it started in the 90s and then it just got worse in the 2000s. I mean, I would say she really went south once 2008 happened.
Yes.
And I almost made a big comment on the video you did about this.
Yeah,
I think a lot of it had to do with free healthcare.
Interesting.
Because now you don't really, there's no reason to be dependent on a man at all anymore,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
You don't need a good guy with a corporate job that has medical benefits, group rates and shit. Fuck them. I just sit on daddy's tit, daddy government,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely. You know, they,
So at that point, it's like, I don't need a good guy anymore. I
Yeah.
just need a dick.
Oh, yeah.
So now I got a cell phone, and this all happened around the same time. Android, iPhone hit right when they were putting out free healthcare, fucking
Yeah.
destroyed them. They didn't need us anymore.
Jersey
They were
Shore.
throwing them a cell phone where they could click a button and instantly have a dick. So it's like, here's your free shit. You don't need anybody. Be
Yeah.
irresponsible. We'll cover you. And if you want to get laid, here's a smartphone.
Oh, yeah. You can get 1,000 dicks a week with a smartphone.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even get pissed at women. Like, I'm raising my kid. She's 8. She's my daughter.
Yeah.
And I've kicked so many females out of my life in the last 5 years since I've been single. And one of the biggest things I say over and over again to them that pisses them off on their way out the door is, I've already got an 8-year-old girl. I don't want another one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what we're dealing with. They're just irresponsible. The government's helping them.
Yeah.
I mean, you know the game, dude. It's all
yeah.
taxes and bullshit.
yeah.
And they don't even realize that they're just another fucking taxpayer. They're sitting there sucking the government's dick. Meanwhile, they're reaching around, poking them in their ass, and they don't even understand it.
Absolutely.
They think they're getting helped.
Absolutely.
You know?
And, yeah, it's true.
I don't know.
It's
I
very
just
true.
think I'm waiting for us all to check out. I was honestly kind of mad when Trump got elected, but I'm pretty conservative because I wanted it to keep going. I wanted the liberal shit to just keep pushing. And next thing you know, let's be Sweden. Let's bring over fucking immigrants as fast as we can. Let the grooming gangs run around the city and rape them. That's what they all want anyways. They
Yeah.
just want to get fucking choke fucked and dumped and, you know.
Pretty much.
Then they go out and cry to their friends on Facebook while all men are shit and stuff, you know. It's a fucking joke.
Absolutely.
So I say give them their burkas. I mean, that maybe we could actually start having fucking families again.
Fucking A, man. Maybe that's what it takes, man. Maybe we just need a little salam alaikum in our lives, you know? Absolutely. Absolutely, man. That's deep, for real. You know, it's funny what you said about how they don't need a good guy anymore because they basically get all the benefits they want. I've noticed, and that's like, I gave up on trying to be some good, responsible guy years ago. All you can do at
I
this
treat him
point.
like shit now.
Oh yeah.
That's the only way you're gonna get laid.
I'm like,
They'll just look at you like a weak piece of shit.
the way I deal with women now, I have this kind of like Charlie's Angels thing going on. Like, I'm Charlie, and I tell all my women about each other, so they know that not one of them completely has me. Like, I'm dealing with like 3 or 4 different women right now, and I let all of them know about each other, and I let all of them know that I'll never commit to any one of them, like 100%. And I'm like the exact opposite of the responsible guy. I'm just this total, like, I only want to come around when it's time to have sex and have fun. And then every time you have like your serious problems, I'm gone. You know, that's just the approach I take with them now. I'm not necessarily a super asshole where I'm like beating the shit out of them and emotionally abusing them.
You're not an asshole for doing that. You're just reciprocating the same thing. I mean, that's all they want from you is dick
Absolutely.
or money.
And I even tell them.
Why should we reciprocate any type of
Absolutely.
Novena to them?
No.
Fuck you, here's my dick. Where's your pussy? Get
Absolutely.
the fuck out. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
I don't want anything else from you.
Yeah, and I let them know.
And they love that shit, because that's all they want, dude. They don't want a fucking relationship with you. It's like, where are you taking me? What can I get from you? I'm on to the next one.
And here's the kicker,
though. I just give it right fucking back to them.
Absolutely, but here's the kicker. I tell them, look, if you want to go like fuck some other guys when we're not hanging out, you know, feel free, go do that. I don't care. And what that does, that makes me the most valuable guy in their mind. So yeah, they're gonna go out and fuck other guys from time to time, and I don't give a fuck. But they'll always come back to me. I can always have them whenever I want. Whereas the other guys that they're fucking eventually become possessive and try to control them and make them exclusive.
Right, so you're just like the easy, free, like no,
free spirit.
You know, no big deal, no
I'm like,
drama, no stress.
I'm like the guilty, the guilty pleasure that you can always call.
You make it easy for them.
Absolutely.
You just play on their emotions. I mean, it's like I said earlier. They remind me of my 8-year-old. If you're really a fucking piece of shit, I mean, you can just flay pussy.
Yeah.
But you literally have to get there and be like, I'm just gonna fucking manipulate this person like a fucking musical instrument. And it's just, you know, it's kind of gross, but hey, man's gotta do. You
Absolutely.
know? And the market's so flooded with easy pussy. I mean, they've just priced themselves out of the market entirely. I mean, why get in a relationship?
And like you said,
5 minutes on your cell phone to get what you need and get back to your life.
And like you said, because daddy government's taking care of them, they'll never really need to depend on you. So you'll never have 100% of a woman like you used to because daddy government's taking care of them. But I find that when you're the cool kind of like fuck boy like I am, that tells them it's going to be no strings attached, tells them they don't want commitment, tells them I want you to go out and fuck other dudes, you get the most that you can get out of them. So yeah, I'll never be able to have 100% of a woman, but I'm actually getting like 70 to 80% of 3 to 4 different women that I can always go fuck when I want. Yeah, and that's the best you can do.
I've been single 5-6 years, but I've learned the same thing. I mean, the women that'll get pissed at you and be like, oh my God, you're evil, you're Satan. They're the ones that want to manipulate and want something else from you, and they're going to use their pussy to waste your fucking time and shit. If you're just straight up front, like, yeah, I'm a fucking whore, you're a whore, you want to be fucking whores together, you just get pussy and they leave. It's that simple. I agree with you 100%.
And they'll always respect you.
There's always going to be women that are like pissed and try to like guilt and shame you, but they're just manipulative cunts. You don't even want to talk to them anyway. It's just laugh at them and move on to the next one. I mean, it's your time, it's your life.
That's the truth, man.
You know, I agree.
That's the absolute truth.
It sucks that we gotta be like this though, because like I'm not like that, and I hate being a fucking cold-hearted pimp like that. Like I'd much rather just have a family.
You know, I hear you.
It sucks. It really does.
I hear you completely.
Cognizant that you're fucking being manipulative, like I think about that shit like the day after. I know that sounds kind of pussy, but it's always just like, damn, man.
It's because it's unnatural.
I'm kind of fucking dirty, you know? Like,
yeah. Well, it's not natural what you're being forced to do. And, you know, I came to that realization too. So I'm starting to kind of step out of being the super cold asshole. And like I said, I'm getting into this like Charlie's Angel sort of thing where it's like, I've got a few different women. They all know about each other. I let them go do whatever they want.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I got an 8-year-old though that lives with me.
I hear you.
I can't see her.
No, you don't want to.
See me live in the
No, No, you don't want to do that. No,
You know, like,
I hear you.
I can't do that. I gotta watch it. I gotta go to their house or some shit, you know? Like, it's different, man. Don't have kids, let me tell you.
I don't plan on it, man. I plan on doing it. The truth about the whole R. Kelly situation. I've been keeping up with this. I usually don't keep up with news stories, but this is one that I find particularly interesting. I always found R. Kelly to be a very interesting character. I don't know, something about his whole demeanor is just very intriguing. So I'm gonna just give the whole truth about this situation. I've been keeping up with it for a little while right now. The short version of this story is everyone's guilty, right? Everyone's full of shit. Every last person in this entire situation is guilty. And I'm gonna break it down, R. Kelly included, right? So it's no secret that, yeah, R. Kelly has been, fucking around with underage girls. Like, this shit's been going on. We've been hearing about this since Dave Chappelle made the skit in like the early 2000s, right? There's the video of him pissing on the chick or whatever. And other, forget what the women say, other rappers, like DMX said in an interview in, I believe, 2009, he's like, yeah, I went to the studio to record a song with him, and he was talking to me through like a crack in the door. He didn't want to meet me because he was like behind the door with a minor, fucking around. So forget what the women say. Other rappers who are, I deem, much more credible than some random woman are already saying, yeah, that's the shit he's on, right? But even deeper than that, these women aren't innocent themselves. The older women that are coming out on R. Kelly, the only reason they're coming out is because the money ran out, right? The money dried up. He replaced them with younger women. A lot of these women secretly enjoy all that weird kinky shit that a guy like him does, all of the choking and pissing on them and shit like that. A lot of women secretly enjoy shit like that. They're not going to admit it to most guys, but they admit it to some guys, right? So why is it that the young women are super into him and like on some ride or die shit, but the older ones are the ones who are attacking him and who are bitter? It's very simple, because the older ones got replaced with the younger ones, right? The younger women, they're still enjoying the gravy train. They're getting all the perks, the benefits, and they say they're in love with him. They're not really in love with him. They're in lust with the lifestyle that he can provide them, right? So these younger women are the ones getting all the money. They're getting to go on trips with him. They're living that, rock star rapper lifestyle. But the ones before them, they got kicked to the curb. The money dried up. So now the only way they can really come up is to attack him and hop on that bandwagon so they can get their 15 minutes of fame and get their money as well. Now this applies to the news anchors too. This applies to the woman who interviewed him. Everyone's just looking for a come up. Everyone's full of shit. No one really cares about any sort of female, protection or anything like that. It's just everyone's looking for that come up. Everyone's looking for that spotlight, trying to get their 15 minutes of fame. And if he doesn't go to jail, right, and if he keeps doing what he's doing, in 20 years, these same young women that are on that ride or die shit for him now will be the next group of old broads that are going to attack him, looking for the come up too, because when they get replaced by younger women, they become incredibly bitter and scorned, and it's just a vicious cycle that keeps going. So that's really all it's about. Everybody's on the come up. R. Kelly is guilty in my opinion. I mean, other rappers have said, yeah, he's been doing this shit, and like I said, forget what the women say, but when certain other male entertainers that are close to you say that's what you're really on, that's when I would take it more seriously. But the message of the story is that not only is he guilty, everyone involved is guilty. Everyone else has an agenda. Everyone's full of shit. The young girls are looking for that, living that party lifestyle and enjoying, what he has to provide. The older women are bitter that their turn ran out and that they got kicked to the curb. But no one's really fighting for anything righteous or anything that's going to make life better for anyone. The news reporter, she's looking for her big story to launch her career, to make it bigger. Everyone's full of shit. And it makes more sense for the news reporters to assume he's guilty instantly so that they can, get their headlines and make their money. But even if they believe he's innocent deep down, they would still say they think he's guilty because it's all about making money. It's all about headlines. It's all about controversy. So there is no good person involved. There is no victim involved in this situation, in my personal opinion. And it's just one big clusterfuck of people trying to come up. That's what a lot of these, surviving R. Kelly, surviving Bill Cosby or Harvey Weinstein, all of these things are just about making money, getting attention. That's really all it's about. It's not about fighting for any victims. It's not about helping anybody. So that's just the way I see that situation.